Okay, I've got four of my friends here, and I'm just going to ask them a few questions about Bethany Church and a bit about their background. So, yeah, do you guys want to just say who you are and tell us a bit about yourself and your sort of church background and that sort of thing? We'll start with Naomi here.
My name is Naomi, and I am from Ballina, and I went to Newton Breda Baptist before coming to Bethany Church, and that's it.
Hi, my name's Neal. I'm 25. So funny. I've been coming to Bethany for probably connected to it for almost 20 years through youth work and more regularly over the past 8 to 10 years on Sundays as part of their Sunday services.
My name's Rebecca. I've always been connected with Bethany as well, although when I was younger I went to Sunday school in a different church, but for the past maybe 10 years or so I've been at Bethany on a weekly basis.
My name's Karen, and I've been coming to Bethany for about 10 years.
Thank you very much, guys. Well, I've got 5 questions here, and we'll just sort of rattle through them in a very informal way, and hopefully you guys will just chat amongst yourselves. First question I have is, what do you consider as praise/worship? So, anyone at all want to start us off on that? No? Go ahead, Neal. You can take it away.
Well, I would see a bit of a distinction between the two, praise and worship. I would see, first of all, worship as an umbrella of a lot of things that can come under it, praise being one of them. But worship, for me, is more of a lifestyle of commitment, obedience, thankfulness towards God. So we're trying to live that out in a worshipful life to God. Praise, my understanding of praise is something that I would take part in, whether it's by myself or with the church, in singing of hymns and songs, in thankfulness to God for what He's done and who He is, and for what He is going to do as well.
Does anyone else want to just, talk about maybe, is it going further than sort of music and singing, do you think?
I think worship can be acts of service as well, can show that you are worshipping God. So that can be serving together in a church or in an outreach setting, or just doing something practical. It doesn't have to necessarily have an overtly biblical side to it. Yeah. Okay. I think there's probably a distinction in my head between corporate praise and worship that we kind of put into a Sunday service, and the other kinds of praise that you have when you're just driving down the street and you look up in the sky and it just looks awesome. And those kind of moments of praise that you just lift up to God as well.
Cool, very good. If we just move on to our second question then, just going to ask the two girls that haven't spoken yet. If we're going back to praise and worship in terms of like music and singing, why do you do it? Why do we do it in church? Or how involved are you in actually doing it yourself personally?
Well, it says to, the Bible instructs us to sing to God, so we are instructed to do so, and also as showing our praise to God for what He's done for us and glorifying Him.
Yeah, I agree with what Naomi said. I'm involved in the praise band on Sundays in our church. Do a bit of singing, also play the clarinet, and somehow try to help the singing of the congregation along with that. Yeah, it's good fun. I do enjoy being involved in that way.
Yeah. So you said the word enjoy there. That's part of my third question there. Do you enjoy it, or do you do it out of habit, or is it like a ritualistic thing? You come every week and it's just like a ritual, you do it every week, or is there more to it than that?
I think ideally everyone should in their mind be thinking about the words of the songs and praising God through them. So on an individual basis you should be thinking about God when you're singing to Him, but I think everyone has different ideas of what they would like to sing to Him, which might make the experience more or less enjoyable.
I think for me, sometimes what we sing in church isn't what I would necessarily listen to or enjoy at home on my own. But because it's corporate, it's not about meeting your own needs or your own enjoyment. It's about sharing something with other people, and that means singing songs and worshipping in ways that they like as well as we.
Yeah, I think the sort of corporate praise that we do in church, I think our culture maybe has lended to it being maybe a bit of a ritual that we would go through on Sunday. For me, growing up, going along to church in a more traditional church where it was pews, standing up, sitting down, it was more done under a ritual, out of a hymn book that everyone had, and it was just the understanding of why we were doing it maybe wasn't properly explained. But I think now for me, sort of congregational singing, some of the hymns that I might listen to at home, I do enjoy them, sort of help us maybe put into words. God's given the hymn writer's gifts of how to express our praise and thanks to God. And some of the words I find powerful, and I would probably struggle to come up with on my own. So singing the songs together as a congregation is helpful to give thanks to God.
You're sort of talking there, to go off on a tangent a wee bit, you're sort of talking about maybe a bit of a generation thing, where whenever you were younger you did it out of habit, whereas now you see yourself, you're doing it because you enjoy it. Is that something that everybody here would sort of agree with? Would you say that whenever you were younger it was like a ritual, you just did it every week, whereas now you've sort of grown up a bit and it's become like a greater part of your life? Would you say that? Do you agree with that?
I think maybe when I was younger, I've always enjoyed music, I've always enjoyed singing, so maybe when I was younger, and sometimes even now, it's more the music that I get interested in and enjoy, maybe more than you do sometimes go along and sing and not really think about the meaning behind the words. But I suppose, as you get older you do think more about these things, and it's not something you just do for no reason.
So there are sort of elements of ritualistic, or it's like a habit, but you do all enjoy it at the same time, yeah?
I don't know if this is the point you're making, but I don't think that ritual and habit are always bad. I think sometimes it's good to have stuff in the back of your head that you don't really know is there, and God uses that. There are times where you're thinking about things and a song will come to mind, and the truth of Scripture comes out from what Neal was saying, where people have gifts that God has given them. You can recall music a lot more easily than you can recall just straight words. So to have that ritual and that habit makes it, God's word kind of permeate more through your mind in appropriate times.
Okay, cool. A penultimate question then, how does praise or worship, how does it affect you personally as a person? Rebecca there was talking about, she sings up at the front, and can you just talk about your own personal influence? Like, some of you mightn't be as talented singers as Rebecca here, but I think you sort of alluded to it a wee bit there already. Well, how does it affect you individually?
Well, I would have to say I have not been blessed with musical gifting. I can't hold a musical note, but it doesn't stop me from enjoying praise. For me, if it's a larger congregation, there's more people singing, it gives me more freedom to sing out, because then the wrong notes and out of tune isn't as easily heard. But then whenever I'm by myself, that doesn't matter. If you're driving in your car and you're listening to Christian music, and just have those amazing moments just where God's speaking to you, where it's powerful, and you can just really feel God in that there, and just through the words that are being sung, so you can just sing out, preferably for the benefit of other drivers with the windows up. So.
I think for me, sometimes I actually enjoy being in church and just taking a moment to listen to everyone else, and just taking in all the voices and everyone coming together as one and singing and praising God. But I also really enjoy, like Neal was saying, singing on my own when no one else can hear, but really like praising and worshiping God, really meaning that, because I wouldn't be musically gifted also, but I love to sing, but just not when other people are around.
So would you say there's sort of a difference between, say, singing in your car and congregational worship? Would you say there's a definite difference between the two on a personal level?
For me, yes.
Yeah.
It's also different music as well.
Yeah.
It's music that, you know, I suppose maybe I've been used to, you know, it's been influenced to me through sort of current generation, you know, the way in which the, you know, artists have written, you know, the words and stuff, sort of our language, and it's easier to understand and to, you know, to sing out that way. And I, you know, some of the older hymns, yes, I know them, they've been, you know, ingrained in my memory forever, but you sometimes think, actually, what am I actually singing? What does that line mean? Some of those old English words that we just sing, we don't really actually know and understand, or maybe even appreciate what they actually mean.
Yeah.
I think also, you know, whenever a group of people come together, there's so many different viewpoints on how praise worship should be done. So when you're on your own, you're not aware of those opinions, and you can carry on doing whatever you want to do when you're praising and worshiping. So
Could be a bit of a contentious point in Bethany Church, the sort of generation gap. Do you think that it's difficult to deal with that generation gap? Because there's a lot of young people in our church, and equally a lot of older people as well. Do you think, in terms of the music, there is a sort of maybe a slight problem almost? I don't know if problem's the right sort of word. It's a bit much, but do you think there is that sort of, there's a little bit of a problem in inverted commas, the generation gap?
I think it's just hard to strike the right balance. I mean, we have different services on a Sunday which usually would have sort of different styles of music at them. Generally speaking, you know, one would have sort of more older music, and then in the evenings, much of the praise would be kind of more geared towards young people. So, yeah, maybe problem in inverted commas would be the way to put it. It's just hard to get a balance and compromise, I suppose, but it's the same in so many aspects of life in church.
Well, we'll move on to our final question. I think we've sort of discussed it already. Do you feel like you're part of something bigger, or is the focus solely on yourself and your personal experience? Thinking specifically whenever you're praising or worshiping.
I think it depends on what you're singing. There are songs that draw you to that conclusion more easily because they talk about, they use a lot of I and me and God, you're doing this for me and this changes my life because you've done this. And then there are songs that talk about God and seem more overtly about praising Him and talking about how awesome He is. So I think the lyrics of the songs can affect how that's directed.
I think that's important as well. So whenever we come together to have time to praise in church, that there is that balance. So there's an opportunity to be reminded and have that opportunity to give praise and thanks to God for who He is, for who He is, and we look around us in creation, give Him thanks through that through song, and also more personally as well for what He has done for us. So it just depends in terms of song choices. There's also other types of music that are more focused on our responsibility as Christians to reach out and to be witnesses in the world. So there's songs that sort of lead us and focus on that.
Yeah, some days songs had a more mission focus because the service had a mission focus, and I think that draws your attention away from yourself as well.
Any other final points before we wrap up?
Just like to say that if there are any drummers out there, we're looking for a new drummer.
That's a lie.
And I'm just thankful that God likes my singing regardless if it's in or out of tune. So.
Thank you very much, guys, and thank you.